yesterday there was a rash of articles about ending daylight savings time, which is a good idea, but I think the proposals were designed to fail, in my opinion. They want us to be on permanent daylight time, and I think that's by design. They want the proposal to completely fail. Because people will see it as very artificial, and a lot of astronomers would definitely be upset about it. And I want to point that out, that I really think they're sabotaging themselves. I think purposefully, but I may be mistaken. But how was time invented? Well, when the sun is directly overhead, right? We call that solar noon, right? And that's what became noon. And obviously, people didn't want to adjust their clocks 5 minutes every time they drove to work, and so we separated the Earth into 24 time zones, right? And at some point in the past, when we were using candles, it was decided that some parts of the year, maybe we should go to work an hour later, right? And I think the mistake they made was that they changed their clocks. They should have just gone to work an hour later if that's what suited them, right? There's nothing wrong with, I teach at a university, there's nothing wrong with us having a schedule that says during the summer, instead of teaching from 9 to 5, we're going to teach from 10 to 6, right? There is nothing stopping anybody from doing that. You don't change your clock just to suit that, right? That's kind of like saying during the pandemic, toilet paper is a little bit more expensive, so during the pandemic, a pandemic dollar is now going to be what 80 cents used to be before the pandemic, and we might switch it back after, right? That would be really stupid, right? You would just raise the price of the toilet paper during the pandemic if that's what the economy says we should do, right? But then they also want to ban price gouging, and instead they want to have a shortage instead of having the price adjust to accommodate, right? Which is also very silly, right? So, whatever the case is, what do I think we should do? I actually don't like standard time either. I prefer we go back to mean solar time, and here's why. What are most people using to tell the time nowadays? Well, they're using technology, right? So my clock actually, depending on which Wi-Fi network you connect to, sometimes it automatically adjusts the clock for you. Sometimes I'll go to an airport in another city, and as soon as I log on to the airport, the clock changes. Few people actually wear a traditional watch anymore, where they have to reset the clock when they travel, right? So I suggest that we just use mean solar time, and every time you go somewhere, it just automatically changes, right? Well, the problem that a lot of people are, the rebuttal is that a lot of people are going to say, well, so you want some of your, let's say you work in an organization where people drive half an hour to an hour, and it might be a 3 or 4 minute difference. Isn't that going to be confusing? Well, I don't think so. Because let's say you set up a meeting, right, and it's 12 o'clock your time, and it becomes 12:05 somebody else's time. As soon as you email it to that person, your computer would automatically adjust it, right? Hey, meeting at 12:05 your time, right? It's kind of like if you buy something on eBay from another country, you see your prices in your local currency, right? And time is a lot easier because it doesn't fluctuate, right? The 5 minute difference is never going to change. If we can do it for currencies that are changing every millisecond, I think we can do it for time that never changes, right? Anyways, those are my thoughts. I prefer mean solar time. And come to think of it, we use mean solar time on other planets, right? When a rover on Mars makes a discovery, it actually reports it in mean solar time based on where that rover is, right? If we can do it on Mars, why can't we do it on